Man, and at least this time I was upfront about the fact I was going to be late rather than just like popping up late like I always do. Got caught up with some stuff at work and some calls and emails that couldn't wait. I had to take care of them, and it took longer than I expected, but got taken care of. Everything's good. Everyone's happy with the results. So we're good to go. My hair's crooked. Having one of my days. This is weird, trying to use it as a mirror with a delay. It's just a little crooked today. It's one of those days. Ah, boy. It's one of those days in general. I'm tired today. Very tired today. I don't know that I know really why. Other than I have noticed, and this was the case this morning. I have noticed that in general, if I'm in the middle of a dream when my alarm wakes me up, I am invariably more tired throughout the day, and especially when I first wake up, it is much harder to get the engine revving in the morning. My workout isn't quite as good. It's harder for me to get out of bed and chug down the coffee that I need, and just, yeah, like when that happens, it's bound to be a more difficult day for me. And that was 100% the kind of morning that I had today. 100% that was this morning. So that's the best I can figure about why I'm tired. Is maybe that's like, maybe what I'm just describing is really just the proverbial wrong side of the bed or something like that. I don't know, but I'm tired today. So I'm going to do my best. Oh, there it is. There's the one. I'm going to do my best to not let my tiredness detract from the nature of my streams. The good news is my streams are pretty low-key, so I can kind of get away with being a little tired, a little low energy on stream. I think there are a lot of streamers that just would not be able to get away with it the same way that I do, because everything is just so high octane, right? Like, especially the streamers that are like competitive gamers, you can't be on low energy for those types of things. Like, you have to be on, you have to be going, and that's not what my stream is. I've never been good enough at games to be able to try and act like that is my wheelhouse. So, here we are. So yeah, if I'm low energy, then sorry, but you get what you get when you get free content, because no one pays me anything for this. So you're just gonna have to accept it and deal with it. Take that. Isn't that such a great way for me to treat my audience? Treat the few viewers that I have. Tell them that they don't get to expect anything from me. That's how you make friends. That's how you make friends. It has nothing to do with what's like right or wrong. It's just making sure people's expectations are metered properly, and that they know there's only so much you can expect from me. That's really what the crew of it is here. Guys like that ASMR, I mean, chewing on ice cubes. Apparently that freaks some people out. I have no issues chewing ice cubes, never have. But some people, that freaks them out. So I don't know. There's nothing to be gained from that bit of conversation there. I'm just offering it because I'm waiting another minute or two before starting the stream proper. So I'm just idly blabbering on about whatever comes to mind. Oh, goodness. My goodness gracious. Okay, you know what? It's been almost 5 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and get us into stream proper here. There we are. Alright, so, back writing. Gonna work on some writing. We left off... Last time we left off, we had done a lot of sort of the foundation work that we need for this dungeon, particularly this first set of rooms that we're working on. And we kind of got that all taken care of. So today's big task, and I was ambitiously, I remember at the end of yesterday, I was ambitiously hoping that I would be able to finish this first set of floors in the dungeon today. That's a lofty goal, especially because we're starting, you know, half hour, 45 minutes late. So we'll see what we get to. I'm going to try and stay focused and get some stuff done. It should go quick because we have a lot of the foundational stuff already taken care of, but, you know, best laid plans of mice and men and all that. Okay, so for our first thing here, we do have to establish a difficult battle for this first room, which is going to be a fun welcome to the party. The good news is this is the first set of rooms, so it's a very low-key, not very intense set of battles. Even when it's set to, like, the most difficult battle, it's not going to be a big deal. Try to get myself lots of fluids and stuff. A lot of times that'll help wake me up, so if I'm just dehydrated, I can play a role. So you'll have to forgive me if I'm sipping from a water bottle a lot today. Okay, so for our difficult battle here, we need to find 300 XP. Oh, wait, no. What am I looking for? That's the total. Sorry, 450 experience points. Distributed thanks to our distributed evenly, however we want, really, between our shadows, gray oozes, and boggles. Buggle. It's fun to say. Buggle. So my first thought here is actually, let's go ahead and utilize. I'm going to set this one actually up to definitely be, it's just easier to do it this way. 450 XP. This is going to be an easy, 450 XP. There we go. This will be a pretty easy one. Why am I... Boy, oh boy. Guys, this is going to be a rough one today. This is going to be a rough one. I'm using O's instead of zeros. It's going to be one of those days. Buckle up. Hopefully it'll still be interesting and fun. And at the very least, it'll be low-key content for you to have in the background while you're doing other more important things than watching me goof up while I'm writing. So I think what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to do 3 shadows and 3 of the reduced threat gray ooze. There we go. Oh shoot, it's supposed to be the A. I remember looking it up, and it was the A instead of the E for the gray ooze there. Because clearly that's the most important thing for me to be focused on right now. So we got those, and then these. Okay. So those are the enemies that we're going to find in there. The rooms in here, the rooms in this dungeon are going to be very minimalist. There's not going to be a lot of stuff in them, because this is meant to be a very monotonous dungeon. Like the whole theme of this dungeon is that it's a maze or a trap meant to trap wanderers who aren't welcome into the city of Cogdoral, right? Because it was originally a dwarven fortress, and the idea behind this maze is basically anyone welcome would have received the proper instructions about which rooms to go to and to get the keys, or even they would have a guard that would escort them through this maze. But then if there were people who weren't welcome, the guards would utilize this complex system as a way to corner, trap, or eliminate, corner or trap singular intruders, or if it's like a full-blown army, basically just trap and confuse them so that they're easy to pick off bit by bit. So it's meant to be very monotonous and disinteresting in here. So our rooms, what I'm thinking is we'll just put random statues in there that can kind of be like landmarks, so to speak. So it's like people paying attention could utilize the different statues to kind of keep track of where they're going, is the idea. I mean, it doesn't translate as well to a D&D setting because players will have their map here, right? And parts of that will get revealed, so they'll kind of always have like a cheat sheet, so to speak. But we can still kind of atmospherically do it. And so what I'm thinking is we'll atmospherically go into our objects here. And we want to, first I want to do torches here. I do want to have each of these rooms have sconces and stuff. We want to unsnap this so we can actually put these against walls here. And I'm thinking I'm going to, but even then I'm going to make this a very monotonous situation in that there will by default be one torch on every wall in every room. There will be one torch, and then if there's doors, there will be 2 torches there. And if I mean, if we want to get really creative with it, we could certainly utilize, and there's going to be like minimal light though. Like it's going to be a very dark. That's very on purpose. Like I was going to say, if we wanted to get creative with it, we could find a system to utilize like the torches and some being lit up and some not being lit up in different scenarios as like a sort of clue system for players on where to go next and everything. We could do that if we wanted to, but I don't want to. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind on that. I guess never say never, but actually it'll be easier. Do they just have like a statue section here? Yeah, they do. And that'll like include the gargoyles and stuff like that. See, look, we got so many statues. We can just kind of use, like, all of these will have like one statue or something like that in each room. There's got to be at least 40 statues in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 5, 6, 7, 38, 9, 40, 41, 40. Yeah, we've got exactly, pretty much exactly as many statues as we could want here. All in this dark gray that'll match the motif. That's why I'm not counting the brown ones. These like more sand or dirt looking ones are less interesting to me. So we can just kind of like make it a habit of kind of going through here, and each one of these will just have like, we'll just randomly choose a statue. So like this one's just got like a dragon head or something like that. You can do that one, and oh wait, hold on, that's room 7 though. We're supposed to be working on room 1. I'm being a goofball. We'll go ahead and put our, I still actually like the idea of this guy just sitting in a corner, just chilling there. Yeah, okay, so we'll do that. Now I gotta get the torches going. Gotta get our torches going here. Boop. And boop. Boop. And boop. And then here we also are going to go doop, da doop, and then we'll just put 1 on this wall. And then we'll get our light tool here. We'll keep it, again, I'm intentionally going to have this be very dark. I want this to be a dark, depressing, unfun dungeon all the way through, because that's thematically what we're designing here. So, got that. This is going to be probably, I get the sense that this is going to be sort of the most traditional board gamey style of D&D map that this campaign is going to have at this rate, right? Like just rooms with gray walls, some statues, like full-blown dungeon. Like this is going to be the most dungeon of all of the dungeons, and I'm actually a big fan of it. I'm really into that idea of having it be just like that, like, because it almost becomes a trope to not have that if you try too hard to avoid that trope, that standard traditional classic dungeon, right? If you try to avoid that to have more thematic things, it almost in and of itself becomes an oddity. So I really like that we're going to have something like this in there. The challenge will be making it a bit more unique for the next one, which will happen after they make it to Cogdoral, but I already have some thoughts on that one. But we're going to leave that be for now. Try and stay focused just on what we're doing right now. So like I say, it's easy to get a little ahead of yourself, and it's much more productive to just stay focused on what we're doing right here, right now. So I'm gonna try and put my money where my mouth is. All right. So we do want to just put our DM notes here. Players need key 2 from section 2 to unlock the doors here. So just put that little note there. And now we'll just add our little narrative. As you enter this room, the pattern, like, it's going to get so monotonous, but I kind of want to do that exactly. Enter this room. You find yourself in another dark, musty chamber. Like, I almost want to use the exact sentence. Just, like, open up all of them with that. Just all of them. You enter this room and you find yourself in another dusky, or another dark, musty chamber. And just, like, say that for all of them. Just because it will sort of add that narrative monotony that will match the dungeon monotony. Like, I want this dungeon to feel oppressive. Like I say, that's what the dungeon, like, if we're thinking about the history of this world, that's what the dungeon was created for, was to be a monotonous slog, to just trap and beat down and make invaders feel helpless, right? Like, that's the whole point of this maze-like stuff that they have here, that the dwarves would have made here. So, I really like the feeling. I really like it feeling like that, and I want to sort of lean into that a little bit. As typically speaking, we try to be diverse and colorful with our language when we're describing rooms, so that way it's always fun and fresh whenever they walk into a room, and it doesn't feel monotonous. So this is a change of pace, and it'll be kind of difficult for me to make myself do it, but I think it'll serve the purpose pretty well. So if you enter this room, you find yourself in another dark, musty chamber. A gargoyle of, or rather, let's say a wall-mounted statue of a dragon's head juts out from the northeast corner of the room. Doors on the northeast and southern walls stand cold and quiet. Boom. Just the most, like, clinical descriptions possible. Now we're gonna put money in this room. There's gonna be some treasure in this room. I'm gonna say, but I want this to be a medium, so players can look. Oops. Where are my fingers? There we go. like for. Sorry, that might have sounded like I was having a stroke. Where are my fingers as I'm looking at my hand? No, like, sarcastically, just saying to myself, where are my fingers? What are they doing? Why can't I type today? Players can look for things in this room and find with an AC of 12. I try to set a lot of these things to medium unless it's really critical. Players can look for things in this room and find an AC 12 a pouch that was placed in the dragon head statue's mouth. So we'll put that there, and actually I'm going to I actually want to cut that out and put that somewhere else. So I want to put that with this here, with our reward here, which is going to be money. There we go. Put that in there. That's where I want that to be. Let's see here. And for what I'm going to do here is I do actually still want to put in some DM notes here, because for this battle, because we've got our oozes and our shadows. So I want to do, when players enter, check passive perceptions. So for this one, for these guys, these shadows, I want the shadows, and since this is a hard battle, I'm going to set the check ceiling here, or the check floor rather, to 14, that difficult level, because this is a hard battle here. I don't want them to have like a free ride through the difficult battles. I don't want them to just automatically see the shadows. They're trying to sneak, right? And so what I want to do here is when players enter, check passive perception. Those with 14 or higher will notice a couple of extra shadows against the far wall. If none notice, the shadows get a surprise round to start combat. If anyone notices, have the oozes drop down immediately. And then we'll just add a little bit more. So we've got our DM notes in there for our sake so we don't forget. So as you look around the room, a few drips from the ceiling catch your attention, and you look up exactly as 3 gray oozes drop from the ceiling. Actually, I'm not going to say drop from the ceiling. I'm going to say drop to the floor, because I don't want to get to the floor, because it sounds less clunky to have the sentence structured that way. Okay. And then the shadows will like show up after that is sort of the idea here. Players can look for things in this room. Okay, so yeah. So searching through this room, you notice a pouch sitting in the dragon statue's mouth. It appears some traveler at some point stashed it there for safe keeping and never returned to reclaim it. Boom. There we go. It's not stashed, it's stashed. There we go. So now we gotta come up with just a bit of a hoard here for some treasure. So I'm going to go to my loot gen tool here. This is a website I found, and it's really wonderful. It takes all of the Dungeon Master Guide loot tables and will automatically roll up a hoard for you based on the parameters you set. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely fantastic resource. We're going to do 1 through 4 because they're all at level 4 right now. And we'll roll our loot. We want it to be is a treasure hoard. We got that checked. So it looks like they're going to find a lot of coinage and gemstones in here. So I simplify the coinage always. So we're just going to say 166 gold. 66 in coins. And then we'll just list out all of our stones, our gems that they find here. And I oftentimes bounce between whether or not I'm going to bother putting the specific stones in there. And I've kind of lately not been worrying about doing the specifics, and I would just say 8 gems worth 10 gold apiece, right? I would do that, but I'm going to start getting back to doing the detail. 1, because I just like it better. I think it's fun when we do that specific stuff. And 2, in my game that I run, actually, we're not using this campaign, but in a different campaign in the game I run, some of my players have started to really get interested in trying to do some crafting and searching for items and stuff. And so it's much more fun when we give like very specific bits of loot and resources for players to like start looking into for that kind of stuff. So with that in mind, I'm going to do all of these specifically, but I'm going to try and save some time. I'm going to try and copy and paste this, and hopefully it won't take too much effort to format it how I need it. Yeah, see, it's going to set all these as hyperlinks. We can link, if we just remove, yeah, I want to remove the links for all of them. Yeah, see, the process of formatting these, this is the risk. The process of formatting these may end up taking as much time as just copying all of them. I guess not. I guess not. I guess this is still the faster way to go about it. And, you know, the other thing too is why am I in such a rush? What does it matter? I'm not going to worry about having the color notes for all of them in here. We'll just go ahead and whoops. There we go. We'll just do it like that. That's good. That's good. I like that. So there's our treasure hoard, our money hoard that they find there. So let's go ahead and check here. The one thing I do want to do, as I do, that's it. Yeah, that's a dragon, right? That looks like a dragon. Got me second guessing myself looking at that. Let's do bag here. Nope. What about sack? That's closer to it. We'll do under, and we'll put the little satchel like sticking out of the dragon's mouth, almost like it was shoved in there. There we go. So it's visually there. No one will notice it the way it is right there. But let it not be said that I didn't accurately portray it in the map. So great. There's a room done. That quick and easy. On to room 2. Like I say, hopefully because we've done so much, you know, foundational stuff in preparing for this dungeon and this floor in particular, hopefully the process of actually designing these rooms will continue to be quick for us here. So that's easy battle. One thing that will probably help it go quicker is if I quit stopping to talk about how quick it'll be. Alright, easy battle is going to be 150 experience points. So let me see something here. Hold up, I gotta check this email. I gotta make sure this isn't. Okay, that can wait for at least a minute or two. Alrighty, so sorry. Like I say, work has been a lot of stuff that people wanted answers to rapidly. So I've had to pay attention to my emails and my calls to make sure I'm on top of it for people. But you know, all part of the job. Sometimes even though it's tedious, we do these things. 1, because it's good for us to do that, and 2, because it helps me earn a paycheck. So importance not implied with the order that I read those or listed them. Alright, so 150 experience points. I kind of want to just throw a bunch of boggles at him, honestly. That's let's see, if at 25 a pop, that's that'll be six boggles, right? Yeah, 6 boggles. So great. So we'll put a statue, and maybe we'll say like they're dancing around the statue or something. I don't know. Okay. They do need key 2, so we can actually just copy this. You find yourselves entering a cold stone room characteristic of the rest of this dungeon. Let's check out our doors for this one. There are doors on the east and west walls, as well as wait, hold on. I want to say on the east and south walls, as well as 2 doors on the west wall. In the center of this room is an old, crumbling statue with a handful of tiny creatures seemingly dancing around it. Boom, there we go. I'm just going to put a little note here because they're dancing around sort of in a circle all around and can see in every direction. We're going to say no chance for sneak once players enter the room. Can still sneak sneak to peek inside before entering, and we'll give them just like a AC. Well, I want to make this a difficult one though because they're right there. So like if they're there and moving and attentive, I don't like players always getting to inherently do a sneak check on every single door. Like they can get that for the sake of peering through the you know, like peering through a crack or underneath the door or something like that I'll allow. But like when entering just a big empty room with a bunch of things dancing around and looking in every direction, no, you don't get to sneak through that. You're just gonna have to deal with whatever you have to deal with in there. You know, there's limits to how generous I'll be with my players. As much as my players have told me that I'm a very generous DM, there are limits to it. Because I mean, if you don't add some challenges and put your foot down on some things, it kind of stops being much of a game, right? It's just kind of a walking simulator where you just kind of go through and succeed at everything always. So there has to be some sort of risk, some sort of danger involved. All right. So this room will have the compass in it. And what I want to do for this one, I want to have the compass be a little different. So I want to say lying on the ground is a very old piece of paper that has miraculously, actually no, I'm not going to say that, is a piece of paper, and I'm going to put a DM note here and say not very old, dropped by a Duergar, but there's no evidence to demonstrate that other than it's not old. So it's like, the idea is like if they examine it and if players think about it and ask, we can say like, no, it's not very old. And that can be sort of a clue to them like, oh, I wonder if this is actually as abandoned as we thought it was, right? So I kind of want to do that. We can sprinkle in a couple clues about the nature of this. In very clumsy handwriting and written in. I gotta look and see. I want to pull up here. I want to see if it says anything about what languages they can speak. Because, yeah, languages. Dwarvish and Undercommon. I kind of want it to be an Undercommon as well, to give them a little something. I want to see, though, like, again, let's see, Haunted One, Rights Compendium. I just wanted, I didn't know if there was going to be languages here. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Okay, it's not really going to give us a whole lot. Okay, I don't know if there was a whole lot of lore behind how different Undercommon is from Common, is the one thing I wanted to figure out. Doesn't say much about it. Let's see here. Let's see here. What does it say about this here? Languages. Exotic languages. It's considered an exotic one. Undercommon, underworld, traders, elvish. Okay. Yeah, so I think I want to do that. I want to do that so that way they can kind of get some weird, confusing things, right? Because it's typically if it's an elvish script, underworld traders that would normally use it. You know, if we do that rather than dwarvish, that'll be an interesting, again, an interesting clue for them. In undercommon, AC 14 to recognize if don't speak it. Oh, I need to make that our DM note color here. Boop, there we go. Make it black again. Written in undercommon, it is a list of what rooms require what keys to access, as well as notes about what section of the dungeon to find each key in. And I just want to put, well, no, I guess we'll just leave it like that. Just leave it like that. So it's like it's an undercommon. So it's like it's a compass, and it'll be helpful for them kind of in a way. It won't really give them access to what they need to, but they'll have a good idea of the direction. And what I think is cool about this is it will actually give them better. It'll give them some clues again about like, hey, maybe we're not as alone in here as we thought we were. What do you suppose we're gonna find? Right? If they find notes written in undercommon, you know, within dwarven tunnels, like, are they going to have an understanding, an idea of who would write this thing, you know, and like, are they aware of how new or old the piece of paper is? So it's like it'll really reward inquisitive players, and like it's one that I like because it's one that I feel like it's totally fair to actually reward a certain degree of meta gaming with it, right? Because like it's the type of thing that players will probably need to, like, they'll need to recognize it there, but it's all stuff that you can just kind of be like, if you say your character recognizes it, then you as the DM can be like, yeah, no, that's fair, that's totally fair. So I actually really like the idea of having the information kind of blocked in exactly that way. Alright, so we're going to do that. Now we got to go to our statues. Go back to our object tool over here, statues, there we go. So for this one, we're going to make sure we don't do a, I want to make sure it's not a wall-mounted one. That's what I'm looking for, a wall-mounted statue. I want a statue. Yeah, we'll put that one. We'll put it right in the center, and we'll put it just like there. There we go. So the boggles are just going to be there, dancing around, having just a grand old time with each other that way. I think that'll work out quite grandly. All right, room done. On to room 3. Okay, so this is a safe room. So safe room there. And actually, bringing up the safe rooms is kind of an interesting thing. I was kind of discussing with my players about my approach to using like the safe rooms. And we all kind of agreed. I was actually really pleased they agreed that they wanted me to add a bit more challenge involved in the safe rooms and taking long rests in the middle of a dungeon, because they've kind of figured out the system and figured out as long as they just have their characters go back to any of the safe rooms, then they get a free pass on their long rests, right? And so we kind of discussed like, hey, I should probably figure out a way to um, make it so that even if they do that, there's some danger involved, because I do want them to be able to get their long rests, right? I think the safe rooms there and allowing them to get long rests and have that opportunity is an important thing, especially as I'm getting deeper and deeper into these bigger and more complicated dungeons, right? Um, it's going to be essential. It's going to be essential for them to be able to get those long rests. And so the thing that we discussed is like what we can do is, rather than only rolling from our long rest event table when they're not in the safe room, instead, once they declare their plan to go to the safe room, roll on that table. And so if it's a roving band of wandering monsters, rather than having it bother them and disrupt their long rest, instead it's one last combat that they have to deal with going to the safe room. So it's like if they're waiting too long to do stuff, they might be in trouble. Or if they go too soon, then they're just going to have a whole lot of extra battles that they have to do, which is going to make it a challenge, right? Or if it's something that happens elsewhere in the dungeon, any of those options where it's like, half of the monsters reset or something like that, then you can just kind of have that happen while they're taking their long rest. And so they have to consider that risk of like, oh, we might have a whole lot more that we have to do. So it'll still offer that without disrupting their long rest, because like I say, the hard part about always having it so that the long rest is disrupted is if they never get a long rest, you're just killing them. You're just slowly sieging them until they're starved for hit points and have no ways to get their stuff back. So I don't know, it was just a thought. I thought I'd share that in case anyone's interested. Because I know a lot of people talk about wanting to try some of the mechanics, and so I thought I'd just sort of mention that, because I think one of the other things about it too is people don't realize that I am always, because and it's easier for me to do this because I do have a group that's awesome, collaborative, fun to play with, and we play with, we all play the game regularly. Because of that, it's easy for me to do this. But one of the important parts about anything, whatever idea you come up with, no matter what you're working, whether it's like a custom class, custom race, custom world, whatever it is, you need a playtest, right? You can have in your mind that things are going to work a certain way, but then once you get there in practice, it's like, oh no, that's not it. And so for me, my players tapped into the idea that, like, oh, this room is described as being able to be barricaded. Well, let's just always take our long rests there. And so rather than taking advantage of it when they first cross it, and they have to just kind of like be like, okay, well, we can do it now, we can take our long rest now, but then after that it's done. Instead, they just sort of made sure they would go back every time they had a long rest. So they figured out the system, and it just didn't end up working the way I had imagined it, because they were, well, to put it bluntly, they were more clever than me, which I'm very proud of them for. So at any rate, I thought I'd just mention that. Might be of interest to some people, sort of that process of figuring these things out, because it's a process. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of willingness to experiment and change things as you go. It's not all, even when you see someone who, like I tend to be, is pretty confident in their abilities to run and operate a game and keep a world, functional and realistic. I only get there because I try things, and when they don't work, I'm willing to change them. You don't change something that is working, but if something isn't working, you change it. There's no problem with that, especially when we're talking about like homebrew rules and stuff. So, at any rate, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. So players need key 3 from section 3 to unlock the doors here. Yep. And this was the one where I intentionally made this a safe room so that they could rest up before going into the mini boss to then face the final segment of this dungeon here. So players need key 3. As you enter this room, it appears to be an empty stone cube. Doors on, let's see here. 2 doors on it's on the east wall that had the 2 doors, right? Yeah. Yeah, 2 doors on the east wall. East wall, and 1 each on the south and west walls stand before you. In the center of the room there is a statue. And here's what I'm going to do actually. I'm going to hide this one behind a bit of a barrier so they have to earn that it's a safe room. Let's see here. Passive perception. Perception DC 12 here. Yeah, I just realized, I don't know why. I've been doing AC instead of DC for a lot of these. Back in black. Sorry. It had to be done because I said AC DC. I didn't have a choice. The laws of physics require it. DC 12 to notice that the elbow joint on the statue is hinged, making the arm a lever. So, and then they can decide to do with that what they will. And what it is like, as you pull the arm down, barricades in front of each door lift up, blocking each entrance completely. Though you cannot get out when the barriers are active, it appears nothing can get in either. Boom. And you could just like say that, oh yeah, that was one of the mechanisms to try and trap people there, because it's like they can lift the lever, the arm back up, undo it, and the things will go back down. Excuse me. You know, so it's like they'll still be able to get out, but the idea is kind of like, oh yeah, this could be used as like a room for, you know, creating up more barriers and funneling people to or away from where you want them to be, right? But it's like you can only do it while you're in the room. You have to undo the lever from within to get out. Like that's part of the safety measure to make sure that no one can accidentally trap themselves in there or something like that, right? Kind of like how when you get into a walk-in freezer these days, they do make sure to have an indoor latch release, so that way you can get yourself out and you don't freeze to death if the door closes. So it's like this room wouldn't have ever been used to trap in anyone, but because it blocks off a lot of avenues, it can be a good way to lock people on the outside of it and funnel them in directions that you want them to go. So this room will also have money. So we'll need to come up with another horde here. We'll say at the foot of the statue, you see an old pack of. We'll do that. Yet another adventurer's equipment that was abandoned and forgotten. Forgotten? There it is. There it is. Alright, and so let's get ourselves another loot collection here. So we'll just roll another one here. Oh great, 150 gold. Oh wait, no, I need this right here. 150 in coins, and then looks like we've got another big old collection of gemstones here. So we'll just do our copy and paste. That did end up, I feel, being appropriately faster than trying to rewrite all of them and having to like bounce between all those different what am I struggling to say? I don't know. I'm tired. I'm tired. My words are failing me. Hey Calder, how's it going? Came in right as my brain was farting all over the place there. Oh, that's what I was trying to say. It's quicker to just edit these links rather than rewriting each individual stone. That's what it was. That's what it was. There we go. I finished my thought. It just took a moment. Sometimes it takes me a few tries to get my thoughts right. You know how it goes. Alright. Got that all in place there. Now let's decorate the room just a smidge here. Go to our used. So we can just get our torches in place. Ba-boom. Boom. Put a torch there. Ba-boom. Go around here. Ba-boom. Ba-boom. No, we need it this way. Do. And then bring one up right there. There we go. So there's that. Let's get ourselves, let's get the lights going here so I don't forget. And there we go. So there's all of our torch lights and everything. And then, hold on. Oh yeah, the statue just needs to make sure it has some sort of arm on it, since there's kind of that hidden mechanism involved in it. Actually, we'll go here, statue. Oh, see right here, look at this. This one's perfect. This one's perfect, right? Because it's got the arm out, so it's like, yeah. Yeah, it's perfect. Boom. Put it right there in the center of the room. Gob smack in the middle. Ba-boom. There we go. Easy. Taken care of. Alright, next room. Next room. Yeah, we're cruising right along. We're cruising right along getting our rooms written here. I don't think we'll get all of them written up today because I started late. But we're getting a lot of them done, and hey, that feels good, right? It feels good to make progress on projects. Okay. So this has got the mini boss battle here, so this will know exactly what we're looking for. Oops, no, I need this underlined. Mini boss battle. And this is going to be worth our, it'll be worth the 450 experience point level there. Boom. Wait, what did I do? I pressed the wrong button. There we go. That's what we're looking for. There we go. And then, let me see here. 1 second here. Sorry, 1 second. Have to, like I say, juggling a lot of things with work today. So there we go. Okay. So this mini boss battle, we are going to have our, where is he? Our spore servant here. Put that guy right there. Wait, I don't understand why it sometimes just takes away the bullet points for no reason. So we'll put that right there, and then I want to just do, if we're doing 450, I kind of want to just do that with like a whole pile of oozes, honestly. So we need 350 in oozes, which would be 7 of them. So I kind of like that idea. So wait, it's just going to be 1, oops, and then 7 of our reduced threat gray ooze, because they will eventually have the full threat gray ooze later. But there we go. Great. I like it. So we'll do that there. And so now for the description. This one we can kind of get a little colorful. Though the room itself is as unremarkable as the rest. Let's see here. Though the room itself is unremarkable as the rest, its contents give you pause. The customary statue stands in the center of the room, but next to it is another figure. It appears to be, so I'm trying to describe, so let me just double check and make sure. Let me just do Durgar Spore Servant here. Search this up here. I'm gonna find So yeah, so like these, there's all kinds of different pictures and stuff. I'm just trying to look and see if there's like something that has some good lore about where these guys come from. There just doesn't seem to be a whole lot. It's a plant. They call it a plant. But no one really. Monster in 5th Edition describes the Sports Servant's medium plant. Let's see what this says here. Indie Wiki, it's like, An animated Duragar created by the Myconid Sovereign Spores. Okay, yeah. So, very, very little as far as lore goes. So I'm going to go ahead and use some creative license and make this a little different. Appears to be a dwarf at first glance, but the closer you look, the more horrifying it becomes to you. The face of the dwarf is slackened, and its features would suggest that it has been dead for quite some time. We'll say a network of vines and fungi burst forth and re-enter the skin of the cursed creature. Suddenly, the thing moves as though puppeteered. No, I didn't think I spelled that right. Puppeteered. As though the plants are serving as the puppeteer of the corpse. It raises its weapon and charges you. Let's see. Actually, I want to add a little bit more here. Let me think about how I want to do this. That's it. But next there's another figure, and all throughout the room you see an undulating. Oh, what a horrible word. An Oh, come on, give me our spell check here. Undulating. There it is. You see an undulating collection of different piles of ooze. Boom, there we go. Okay, that's nice and creepy. That's nice and creepy and uncomfortable. I love it. Let's see. So there's our mini boss battle of our Spore Servant. Because like when I think about the Spore Servant, rather than it just like being like a sculpted Durgar or something like that, I immediately imagine a creature that's kind of like the Flood, right, in Halo or something like that, where it's like, or I guess in this case it's almost more like the zombies in The Last of Us, right, where it's like the fungi kind of take over the body. Like that's kind of what I'm imagining these guys are more like. It's just like plants and fungi, some sort of plant life, some sort of plant fungal life has taken over the body. It started with just like a lung infection or something like that and turned into the plants taking over the body. And so the body is just sort of a vessel that like packs it all together. And whether or not the creature infested with these plants is alive is, you know, probably debatable. Because, like, what kind of life would that be, really, anyway? So, but yeah, no, I like that. I think that's great. So, I really like that. And then, oh, I do need to add, though, I'm going to just quickly copy and paste this and put it here just so that way we can, as our DM notes would, you know, for putting in the DM notes to help us remember that we do need to have players make sure they have the proper key for this room. Alright, so we've got that, and then we need to let's see. So, and there's going to be some sort of item in here. And so kind of what I want to do is I want to have the creature that has its axe, because it uses an axe, right? Hold on, let's go back up here. Spore Servant. War Pick. Okay. I kind of want to have that pick be the item and have the pick be something interesting. And so what I want to do is just have it be an infected pick, like a war pick that's just like tainted with those spores and stuff. So I'm going to just kind of quickly invent something for this. Item. As the creature falls dead, you can't help but notice the war pick that was carried by the cursed creature. It appears more well ornamented than you would expect of a typical war pick. As you pick it up, you can tell that the corruption of this creature through the plants has extended to the item. And so now let's just create a name for this. We'll call this corrupted war pick. And all I'm thinking here is, we'll say, on a hit, the target makes a Constitution save, and then we'll just set the DC to, I don't know, we'll set the DC to 11. I don't want it to be too overpowered, so we'll put a DC 11 there with it. Makes a Constitution save. On fail, the target takes an extra 1d6 of poison damage from the residual infections, not infections, the residual contaminants on the war pick. We'll do that, and I feel like I almost want to limit it a bit more, but I don't know. I think that's actually kind of a cool item, and they can decide if they want to keep that or not. Usually I avoid giving too much of the special weapons, just because, like I say, I prefer to give them the ability to improve their own weapons and stuff like that. But sometimes it's just appropriate, and they can sell that for a fair bit of money. And I feel like, I don't know. Let me see something here. Yeah, we want to come over here. Take me back to the top. That's what I'm looking for here. Let me just look up poison here. I'm looking for the. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Poison damage. Let's see. Where's poison? Poison, venomous stings, and toxic gas of. Is this all just in the terms of dragons? Is that what's happening here? Damage and healing, damage types. Yeah, it doesn't really say a whole lot here. Purchasing poison spray, protection from poison, detect poison, potion of poison. Dagger of venom. You know, let's just look at an example of how they've got it here. Can take an action to cause. Let's see here. Poison remains for 1 minute or until an attack using this weapon. It's a creature. The creature must succeed on a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or take 2d10 poison damage and become poisoned for 1 minute. Let's see here. Poison creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability. Okay, yeah. So I think that's what I actually do want to add that, because it's doing so little damage it can poison them. There's d6 of poison damage and becomes poisoned for we'll say 1 minute. Because it is just supposed to be, it's just that it's a really unclean weapon. It has nothing to do with like magical properties or anything like that. It's just a very dirty war pick is kind of the idea. Like, so dirty and tainted and corrupted to the point that just like rinsing it off wouldn't do anything. It's become a property of it, like it's seeped into the metal of the war pick. But I think that'd be kind of an interesting item to give them. So let's do that. Now let's decorate our room here. So this one we do need to have a statue of some sort. Because, like, you know, as we described it, the creature's going to be standing right next to it. So let's do that. I want to grab... Okay, well, wait. We need to grab our torches here. Torch. 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 And torch. There we go. So we'll do that. Let's get our lights put in place here. Get this all going. It's a little tedious, but, you know, I find it's worth the effort. I find it's worth the effort. Now, what I kind of want to, for this one, I want to make it look a little different. Because this is, like, such a diseased and disgusting room here, I want to find, they have, like, puddles or something like that, with water, maybe? I don't want it to be, like... okay, so it's just like giving us water effects here. It's not really what I'm looking for here. I suppose if we go to terrain, if we go to our water brush, we can add just like little puddles around. It's kind of the idea. Wait, hold on. Let me... I guess I don't want it like that. What does disable border do? That makes it look a bit more puddly if we have our border gone, right? But yeah, I kind of want there to be just like puddles of gross around here. Like that. And the only thing I'm wondering if we can... undo. Let's see. I'm going to undo these, and I want to mess with our colors a little bit. I want to see if we can get more of like a greenish hue going to all this, just to make it look more sickly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. That's kind of more what I'm looking for in the deep color. I guess I still want it to be... Oh, yeah. Let's see how that ends up looking. That looks a lot more sickly. Like puddles, like sickly plant puddle water. It's almost a little too neon green, though. Hold on. Let me see if I can do a bit better than that. That's where we're at right there. I guess I guess what I'm really looking for is a bit more blue involved in it. Let's try that. Oh yeah, that's the type of tint that I'm looking for. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I think that'll look grand. I think that looks just grand, those little puddles there, just to make the room feel like gross and sick. I wish I could... Yeah, you got like acids and stuff. Acid tile. Cloverfield tile. I like that. Sludge tar. Oh, I guess I don't... Is it? Oh yeah, because it's doing that. There we go. Okay, perfect. That's fine. That's fine. It's good as it is. I need to stop being too picky and persnickety. I like it like that. I like the way that looks. Like Burlington Coat Factory there. I think that's great. I think that looks just great. Perfect. Okay, cool. So we got that room done. What time is it? Yeah, we got time. We can try and squeeze in one more room. Let's try and squeeze in one more room here. We got the time for it. Especially because we don't need to come up with any sort of like reward here. It's just gotta... although we do need to think of a trap here. You know what I kind of want to do? You know what I kind of want to do here? kind of just want this to be, let's see here. I want to utilize kind of the same setup here. Like I kind of want to, I want the trap to be like there's an enticing, you know, maybe they, you know, especially because we have other rooms that will have like pull the lever. I almost want like every puzzle slash trap slash like a lot of rewards and the keys to be hidden behind statues that have arms that can be pulled down like levers. And if we have a lot of them doing that, then we can like trick the players into trying to do stuff and like kind of create this panic of like, okay, what should we expect here? So I kind of want to do that. So I'm just gonna take actually this. I'm gonna take this. There we go. So now, oops, we need to make this black here. And so what I'm gonna do and then is instead say, as you pull the lever, you hear switches flipping in the ground below you. That's it. Okay, you know what I want to do? Here, I also want to add here passive perception 12 to notice the small holes, say the small holes that dot the ground in here. Boom, there we go. Pull the lever, you hear switches slipping in the ground below you. One by one, the tiles under your feet begin. Let's see here. Begin. How do I want to say this? We'll just say shooting spikes up through. Through the small holes. And we'll say players make dex saves DC. We'll make it 12. We'll make it medium to jump. Hey, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. The Albert of Sartor. Awesome. That's a cool name. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Alright, let's see here. Just Al. Alright, fair enough. Thank you, Al. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Okay, so players make dex saves, DC 12, to jump out the way. And we'll just leave it like that. Boom. There we go. So there's our trap. There's our trap. I think that's a perfectly good trap. So classic. Like, this dungeon is turning into such a like a classic flavor. It's like Coca-Cola Classic here. Needed some background noise while you work on partial meme D&D character. Man, oh man, that you are in the right place, my friend. We're in the right place. Alright, so we got the trap there. We'll say, or take, I don't know, what's a good amount of damage for that? I never really know how much damage to do for traps and stuff. I kind of want to do 2d10 for this one, because these guys are up to level 4 at this point in time. And so, I mean, we are ramming spikes up into their feet. It's not a nothing trap, right? So we'll say, I wonder if we can. Let me just search for maybe spike trap. I wonder if. Yeah, wait, spike trap. Yeah. No, not space trap. Dang it. Okay, let's just try spike. Let's just see what comes up here. Spike growth mine, spike growth mine, spike. Oh, okay. I don't know if there would be just like in the rules an example of a spike trap that would be existing in some sort of oh wait, here we go. This is kind of what I'm looking for. Captain. Okay. Oh wait, what do you got? What do you got? Captain Quick, shipwreck first mate. Hit her head a bit. It's a bit too hard against the coconut tree. Nickel every time that happened. Am I right? Oh, thanks. the Pirate Lord. Another thing's the Pirate Lord. She's Goblin who ride an Eldritch cannon. She looks like a pirate ship cannon on the front. That is a very wacky cartoonish character. Oh, that she is the Pirate Lord. Gotcha. So she thinks she's the Pirate Lord. I thought you were trying to say that like the Pirate Lord was after her or something. She's the Pirate Lord. I mean, who's to say she isn't, right? Reality is what we make of it. Canon name is Silvar. There you go. There you go. Is it Quicksilver? Is that an intentional additional meme on there? Okay, let's see. I'm trying to look for the spikes here. Layer actions. Cause an iron spike to burst from the ground. You can see within 100 feet of any creature within space. So that one, they're really like screwing them over there. 68, but I think it's just a. It was intentional. Okay, great. What are those names? I like the Nesquik. I like the Nesquik. That was my first thought when you said quick. Was the Nesquik reference. That was where my brain went first, and then you added the silver, and I was like, oh, Quicksilver. Okay, there it is. All right, I'm gonna stick with a 2d10 because I get the sense that the trap is just whatever damage you want it to be. So I want it to be 2d10. And I mean, ultimately, it's a homebrew world, so I can make the decisions, right? Like that's the beautiful part of it. I can do whatever I want with this world, and that's why I love homebrew. But yeah, we'll add that there. We'll add that there. Okay, perfect. And so then empty. Oops, hold on. We need to make this our standard black text again because we're all done with the DM notes here. Empty. Dang it. Underline that. There we go. There's our format. You search high and low, but there is just no treasure in here. Boom. There we go. Not everything works out for the players, unfortunately. Alright, so there's that. Let's go ahead and decorate our room here. We'll go to our use. Let's get our torches a-going. And sorry, I feel like that's a really obnoxious noise for me to be doing into the mic. I'll stop doing that one. Just a random goblin riding a cannon. You know, haven't we all wished we had something like that going on in our lives from time to time? Warning: making exploding cannons as she rides into battle. Well, there you go. It's like a steed, just like the baseline warhorse stat block. Only it has a ranged attack because it shoots cannonballs. So there you go. Oh wait, hold on. We need one more torch in here. One more torch. There we go. And then we'll put the light for it here. Grab that there. There we go. There's that. And we need to put a statue in here. Some sort. Take us to our. Where's our statues again? Boom. What other statues? What's the statue we haven't used yet? There we go. This one has arms that we haven't used yet. Pew. There we go. There we go. Sweet. Easy as that. Alright, I'm going to save this up. Okay. So, looking at the time, it's almost 1:30, which means it's just about time for me to call it a session here for the writing. So what's going to happen, as always, is I am going to take myself a bit of a break. Today's break, I think, is going to be just a little bit longer. I did receive some emails from my day job that need some attention, so I have to go take care of that. But I'm going to take a break, and then I'll be back, and we'll be returning to our stream of Neverwinter Nights that I am working on. So still more content, but we are going to call it a day on the D&D content. Although you can kind of argue that Neverwinter Nights is more D&D content because it's a D&D video game, 100%. But at any rate, that's where we sit right now. So thank you to everyone who joined me. I appreciate you guys being here. It makes a lot of fun when there's people here. You guys come up with some wacky ideas. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. You guys got some goofy things going on, and I love it. But yeah, so that's it for today on the writing. If you want to see more, as far as I know, as of right now, I will be streaming on Thursday and Friday this week. Tomorrow's Wednesday, no streams on Wednesday. For Wednesday is my real heavy day job days. Tomorrow's gonna be a busy one. I gotta be out and about to all kinds of different facilities and stuff. So that's gonna be a fun thing. But I will not be streaming. Like I said, I will be back same time Thursday, Friday. That's Eastern time zone, 11:30 a.m. So it's up to you to do the math on when that is for whatever your local time zone is. I don't love you guys enough to do that for you. But yeah, so that's what's coming up this week. Yeah, I don't think there are any other sort of announcements as far as the channel goes at this point in time. So yeah, come check me out at that time. Like I say, I'll be back shortly if you want to watch me do some video gaming. It's the same energy, me just playing Neverwinter Nights. So if you're here for the background noise, it will still provide that. But if you're here for the D&D content, I will not be back with more of that. So just keep that in mind. Also, I do have, if it's something you're interested in, I do have a YouTube channel and my Discord server. So feel free to check those out if you care. If that's something that gets you interested, those are available. Yeah, other than that, that is all the announcements. That's all the announcements. So, yeah, I'm going to go take my break. We'll be back. I'm really hoping the break will only be a half-hour tops. I usually try to keep it to 15 minutes, but like I said, I've got a couple other things that I have to take care of while I'm pausing here. So, yeah, so hopefully I'll see you back shortly. I'll be as quick about it as I can be. Regardless, though, I will be back in a little bit. So feel free to come check back and watch me do some gaming. Other than that, again, thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate you guys. You guys are rad individuals. I am glad that you're here. I appreciate you. So yeah, take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon. Bye, everybody. Bye.